Know that in hetero relationships, 80% of divorces are initiated by women, and that number jumps to about 90% for college educated women.
Yeah, guys, and just keep in mind, they can do that at a whim if they feel like it and take your possessions. So, and your children, by the way. So that's always great to know, I suppose.
We were on complicated terms. We weren't together, but we were still doing it. First off, let me inform you that my ex was bat crazy. When we weren't together, she would literally drive by my house to see if my car was home. Yeah, it was wild. So I ended up breaking up with the girl because I didn't like the way that she treated me. But we agreed to keep it a friends with benefits type of thing. My girl was never on the pill or anything, so that meant that we had to wear protection. And since we weren't together anymore, I definitely wasn't taking the risk.
Just before we continue with this story, you should still be using that. Yeah, like just for the simple fact that you're a young guy, and hell, even if you were, you shouldn't be open to the idea of having kids at such a young age. Okay, even if you are, you definitely shouldn't be having them with crazy. Okay, so this isn't something that okay, well now we aren't together. Well now I'm going to take the precautions necessary. Like this man looks pretty young. Um you should be taking those precautions regardless. Let's continue.
So I continued to wear it. One day while we were in my room doing it, the unthinkable happened. I was ready to, and pull out. She didn't let me. She literally held me in with her. And at this point, it was too late to stop myself, so it happened. After I did that, she let me out. At the time, I didn't notice that anything was wrong with the protection. I didn't even realize that there wasn't any of my, in it. But my ex-girlfriend called me up a few months later to tell me that she was pregnant. With my kid. And I was freaking out. I was confused at how that could even be possible, and that's when she told me that she cut a hole in the protection.
You know, the really disgusting part about that as well is society wants to pretend as though this sort of crap doesn't happen to men. Okay, like society would have you believe that, hey guys, we should all be out here, just trying to make women feel safer, going on these parades and marches, trying to make the ladies feel safer, while at the same time just not acknowledging the fact that most of this stuff that happens, most of this terrible stuff, you want to talk about crimes that happen in the night and whatever the case may be, most of it happens to men. Okay, and then you'll get the woman is saying, yeah, but it's by men, as if that means anything. Okay, the fact of the matter is that a lot of these things that people are that are social justice warriors are going on about, a lot of it happens to men, and nobody seems to acknowledge it. And the funny part about it is, and when I say funny, I mean not funny at all. If you're a guy and you want to speak up about this kind of crap, generally speaking, nobody's going to care. Okay, especially not your girlfriend, your wife, and stuff like that. Depending on the thing about it is people will give away empathy, right? They'll be empathetic to you, but if you do it for any like lengthy period of time, please believe the people are going to leave you. Okay, especially if you're a guy and you're in a relationship and stuff like that, you lose your job, start to develop mental health issues, you go through a real rough patch. You're gonna find out who's really there for you and who's not very quickly. And let me tell you, the numbers might shock you. But let's continue.
To baby trap me so I wouldn't be able to leave her. I told you she was bad crazy. After figuring out that she was going to have my kid, I couldn't bring myself to leave. Not a bad person. If it was mine, I'd want to be in its life. But here's where it gets even crazier. I met up with the girl for one of her doctor appointments about the baby. They ran a test, and this is where I found out that the baby actually wasn't mine. So either while we were dating or the few weeks that we were broken up, she had slept with someone else and got pregnant by someone else. But I
And that's generally a surprise to a lot of guys as well. A lot of men will get into relationships and think, okay, well, she wanted a break, but as long as like nothing happens during that break, I'll be happy, and we can kind of come back together later on and see where we're at. Guys, breaks are not. Even if you both agree to the idea that, hey, yeah, we'll be exclusive. We're just taking a break. We're not going to see other people. Please believe she's going to see other people. That's not how breaks work. Okay, these breaks from relationships, these whatever the hell, even if it is a breakup, like he said, look, just you can set your watch to it, man. You can absolutely set your watch to it. That your girl is going to be with another guy. And I hate to be that cynical, gentleman, but that's just the case. A lot of men get blindsided by this and think, okay, well, she loves me, or she said this and this, or hell, we even agreed upon the fact that none of us would be going out here doing exactly that, and it turns out she did. Okay, it's like you can't listen to people's words a lot of the time. Okay, yeah, you can take them and choose to trust it if you want, but I'm telling you, if you go into a situation like that, you want to have a break from a relationship. That relationship is done. Okay, that relationship is well and truly gone.
I didn't love the girl anymore anyways, so I figured I dodged a bullet. I left and we never talked again.
Yeah, and this guy thinks that he dodged a bullet. My man literally just dodged a whole entire missile. Okay, but what is going on, gentlemen? It is Taylor the Fiend back again with another response video. And on today's show, guys, bit of a lazy one. We're going to be looking at some TikToks together. So if you're new here, guys, make sure you drop your comments and your thoughts as we go through. Like and subscribe on the video. And just a couple of quick announcements, gentlemen. We are hosting an art competition for the channel. So if you're interested in submitting artwork to that, submissions can be made to mrfiend11@gmail.com. If you are interested in entering, please make sure you read the details linked in the description. The artwork specifically should be related to the show and stuff that can be used on the show. And of course, if you win, you get cash prizes. And for runners-up, you also get honorable mentions. And guys, if your artwork is featured, it will be, and let's just say it's used on the channel, you will be credited everywhere it appears as well. So make sure you check that out if you're interested. But guys, make sure you read the details linked in the description before you submit. Okay? And we're just going to jump back into today's video here momentarily, guys. But, YouTube is not something we're going to talk about today as well is, YouTube is not a fan of this particular content. And just going forward, look, it's becoming more and more important to kind of put a positive message on these videos, gentlemen. Look, a lot of times, maybe you're not the same, maybe we're all kind of different in this aspect, but I watch these videos and a lot of times, yeah, it's painful, but we can kind of have a laugh together. I don't want you guys looking at this going, okay, well, I should just blah, blah. Like, I want you guys to have a positive outlook, okay? When you look at videos like this, just understand that girls are not everything. They should absolutely not be everything about your life, okay? Too many guys watch these videos and their whole life, what happens is they're like, okay, well, what's the damn point? The point should be doing things for yourselves, okay? Like doing your hobbies, the things that you care about. This whole marriage stuff and everything, yeah, it's a giant minefield you should take the effort to walk around. But these girls, man, out here doing this stuff, they're not your entire life. Okay, your life should be reserved for the things that you want to do with it, and that could just be my opinion, guys. But men, you'll find a lot more peace in your hobbies and the things that you care about and stuff like that, and in bettering your judgment. Okay, so these videos are not meant for us to go through and go, oh well that sucks, and and we're just going to wallow down in the misery, gentlemen. I make these videos so that we can have a bit of a laugh together, we can learn a bit together, and you can avoid some of this crap. Okay, because make no mistake, the stuff that we cover on these videos, a lot of you watching right now will go through these situations. Okay, but let's continue with the video.
Apparently, there are a lot of men out there that are just done with being used, that all they're doing is working, chilling, and maybe ignoring people. It's kind of messed up.
I love how it's kind of like the conclusion there is it's kind of messed up, right? If men want to go and do their own things, if you don't want to have a wife, have a girlfriend, provide for a family, or you don't want to get married, right? Oh wow, that's just kind of messed up. Isn't that interesting when we as men, we choose not to provide things to other people? That's messed up. I personally, I don't subscribe to that at all, gentlemen. I think you should be, living for yourself and obviously your family and friends and stuff like that. But man, to pretend like we owe other people, especially strangers, something, nobody owes you anything, man. Goodness me.
So what do you want? Do you want a boyfriend? Nah. Okay, do you want to be single? No. Do you want to casually date people? Nah, not necessarily. Do you want to get back with your ex? No. Do you want to remain in the talking stage? No.
Here's a real...
The girls will go through that and they'll say, oh, well, I don't want to go through any of that. Meanwhile, they'll simultaneously be going through every single one of those situations mentioned in that list. It's so funny. Oh, I hate the talking stage. I just want a guy to be there for me. Like, we've all heard it before, gentlemen, where girls say things like, I just really like a man to commit to me. That's all I want, and then I'd be happy just having someone there at night, knowing that they care about me, and knowing that they aren't going to leave. I just want someone who's not going to step out of the relationship. And then you look at their entire relationship history, man, and it's just the exact opposite of what they say that they want. I got recommended a channel recently, guys. Maybe I'll link the video in the description, actually. And it's a psychology channel that covers some mental health topics and whatever the case may be. But the video I was linked was how do you insulate yourself against manipulation and other stuff like that. And a lot of it comes down to boundaries. Okay, and the funny part about it is, look, if you remove men from households, if you remove the father figure, if you remove healthy leaders, you're actually going to, the byproduct of that is you're going to get a generation of people who lack boundaries. Okay, boundaries are something that is just super important, man. I cannot understate how important boundaries are. Boundaries are the things that are going to separate you from yourself and crazy. Okay, and I mean that's invaluable. But I'll link that video in the description. I know that man in particular who made the video has done some negative, or not so accurate, should I say, coverage of our space over here. But for the most part, he does cover some mental health topics, which you gentlemen might be interested in. But let's continue with the video.
Really good picture of me. Thank you for listening. That is all.
Unemployed and loan repayment starts in 6 months.
Okay, usually you could never pay me to be in a polo and a little skirt like this, but if you're single and you want a rich dude, find a way to get your ass into the country clubs. It's literally a boys club. There's hot dudes, rich dudes walking around everywhere.
You know, when she actually gives advice like that, a lot of us, maybe you're watching at home and you look at these TikToks like, oh, well, Taylor, all of these are jokes. They're not all jokes. Okay, these are real people sharing their real experiences and real opinions and stuff like that. And you're going to get young people who will watch the video that we just watched right there and go, oh, wow, really? I can go off and do that? And it's just... This app is literally just women telling on each other. It's actually the funniest thing, man. Especially the advice segments, right? The dating advice that women give each other. We watch it all the time over here, gentlemen. We have a bit of a laugh at it. But no, these people genuinely believe in the advice that they give. Okay, like you may remember from, I believe it was yesterday, we were covering a lady who was just telling us how to text men. And you know, all these girls out here giving this advice, oh, you better believe they're unmarried, they're single and stuff like that. And the funny part about it is, which is something we might get into. No, we'll get into it now. You know, guys will come to this channel and say, oh, well, Taylor, how could you talk about this stuff? You're just an animated character. Fair point, right? But then people will want to use the metrics like, okay, well, a man shouldn't be giving advice on this subject if he himself is not in a long-term successful relationship or marriage. Okay, let me just be very clear about this. Those two things should not be a priority or necessarily a goal for men. If you don't want to get married, that is totally different. That is totally fine, excuse me. If you don't want to get into a long-term relationship, that's totally fine. These people want to pretend as though, like, I kind of liken it to boxing a bit, right? They think that, okay, well, in order for you to instruct people about boxing, you just need to get in the ring and you need to, quote-unquote, win one fight. That's all you need to do. It doesn't matter your opponent or anything like that. It doesn't matter what you know at all about other people. Guys, all that matters is for you to win as a man, it's about committing to a girl. Hell no. Hell no. Let me be the first to tell you, gentlemen, it does not make you a man to commit to a girl. Okay, that is not the thing that makes you a man. Alright? And people who say that sort of crap, man, I just cannot believe it. For women, on the other hand, a lot of their value actually comes from the decisions that they make. And a lot of it is detracted from the poor decisions that they make. Okay, so for a girl to be in a long-term marriage and stuff like that, and for her to be, you know, to have made good decisions in her life, that's some, you know, that's a rarity. That's a real rarity. I don't know where you guys live in the world, but where I live, that is that it might as well literally be a unicorn right there. Okay, and the funny part about this is people want to pretend like men and women are the same in this respect. Okay, that you as a man, you should be caring the most about marriage and stuff like this. No, 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 no. Especially when marriage doesn't favor you. That just makes absolutely zero sense. Let's continue. I mean, a bit of a controversial opinion, but I don't particularly care, man. Like the filter doesn't, like, it's not as if she's an ugly looking girl, right? Filters and all this crap on Snapchat, by the way, my goodness, it is out here ruining people's self esteem. You know, like you might be familiar with this situation, gentlemen, but whenever you see a girl on Snapchat, or like she has dating profile pictures, and her pictures are of her using filters from Snapchat, the likelihood that she's a single mother just increased like by 15-25%. These girls out here using the Snapchat filters specifically, they have something to hide, guys. Better believe it.
Me and this girl was talking online, and which don't trust any pictures online, by the way.
True.
She gets there. She's an hour and a half late. She is already trashed. She's drunk and medicated, so she...
A question before we continue with this story. And this is something I want all the guys in the audience to ask themselves, okay? If a girl is an hour and a half late to the date, why the hell would you still be there? Guys, if a girl is 5-10 minutes late, you should already basically be gone. You should be walking back to your car. Okay, I hate this idea that we as men, oh, it's noble. Maybe something came up. We should just sit there and wait for her. There is no way in hell you will catch me sitting waiting for a girl for an hour and a half. I don't care if I'm in the most entertaining place in the universe, man. It is not happening. Absolutely not. Okay, and I would encourage you guys to ask yourself the same question. If you are going on a date and the girl is late, consider it a sign of disrespect and leave. Okay, because that is going to reflect itself later in the relationship. If you have a relationship with a lady who demonstrates that behavior from the outset, you are nowhere near her priority. Okay, and if you wanted to get into a relationship, gentlemen, one that actually works, you're not going to make it work with someone who doesn't even consider the fact that you are taking time out of your day. People want to go into dates and they want to pretend like, okay, well, this is a favor that I'm doing to men. Men should be grateful that I showed up. Hell no, you make it damn well on time. I don't care if you have to dress up, okay? This excuse is something that the ladies use all the time, by the way. It's like, oh yeah, well, I got dressed up, so that means that you should pay for me, and you should pamper me because I got dressed up for you. You see this 50-50 crap just goes out the window real damn quick, doesn't it? Let's continue.
She's slurring and literally drooling. Did not look anything like her pictures. So I'm here just shoot me in the face and get this over with. So I buy one picture and I figure, okay, we finish that picture, it's gonna be signals time to go. So, so we finished the picture. She didn't mention that she rode there. She's talking the whole freaking time and just slobbering and rambling and stopping because she forgot what she was even talking about and just kind of Joe Biden dazing off.
You know, I come from a different country, gentlemen, but I have seen some questionable clips of Mr. Biden. But anyway, notwithstanding that, gentlemen, talking a lot is a huge red flag. Okay, and this is something that if you're a guy who's choosing to date at the moment, I know we've got a lot of men over here at the moment who are choosing not to date. But if you're a guy and you're on a date, a couple of things to kind of keep in mind is if a girl is talking a lot, specifically about herself, that is a huge red flag. That is just an absolutely huge red flag. Also, if you want to be a man that goes on a date and you want to talk about yourself a lot, please understand that you're going to drive away a lot of people doing that. And that is a habit that will also cost you friends. If you want to sit there and you want to talk about yourself and how great you are and all this kind of crap, you're not only are you going to lose girls over it, more importantly, you're going to lose friends over that. Okay, so just kind of rein it in. Ask people about themselves. Let them talk about themselves, and actually listen to what they have to say. This whole rambling thing is one of the biggest things that men fall for, because we as men we have the tendency to look at rambling like, oh, she likes me, she's talking. You know, girls don't usually talk this much. This is great. She must like me if she's talking a lot. Gentlemen, it is a problem. Okay, it is a problem.
And oh my gosh, so she rode there, like Uber there, whatever. So I was like, all right, I'll take you home. I take her home, drive there, punch it in my little GPS. We get there, and we sit there for a second, and she's like holding on to my arm, and she's falling asleep. She'll fall asleep, and I kind of nudge a little bit. She wakes up, she rubs my arm for a second, and falls asleep again. She fell asleep like 3 or 4 different times, and then she kissed me. And okay, she had these 6 teeth and nothing else on the top back there, and the ones that she did have, you could see a little bit of gray in between. Well, she kissed me, and yeah, it wasn't pleasant at all. I was like, okay, like, it's time to go. All right. She slips her tongue in my mouth and stuff, and so finally she gets up and leaves, and I kind of put my teeth together, natural position, mouth closed, teeth together, and something crunches. And I kind of go like this, and it's like gritty and crunching. It's her decayed teeth. I'm crunching on her freaking teeth. I'm
Goodness gracious me. Just to hash back the first point here, guys, is if you're on a date or you're going on a date, just if you're in a situation that you don't want to be in, you're more than welcome to just cut it off, right? I don't care if people think you're rude, if people think you're arrogant, guys. If you don't want to be in a situation, you don't have to be there. Okay? Like this whole idea that real men stay in, excuse me, stay in crappy situations. Personally, it's just something that I don't subscribe to. I think that real men are men who have boundaries. Okay, let's keep going.
Literally cannot say anything without men and complaining. We have the Alyssa Jones. As you can see, her comment section is literally filled with that comment, over 200 of them. What did she say? Basically that women enjoy sex too, and that it's
No. See, look, if you wanna defend people's positions, that's fine, but at least show what they said as well. Okay, like you want to say, oh, all these men are being mean to this woman for no reason. I doubt that. I reckon if we went and we did some research on the video, gentlemen, I think we would find a pretty valid reason why a lot of people are being mean to you. This whole thing of there's like this idea that goes around that, hey, if people are mean to you, then that just comes out of nowhere. A lot of times, like, yes, there are people who will bully just because they like attacking weakness or whatever the case may be. But if a lot of people are targeting you for something, there's something there. It doesn't mean that it's always authentic or whatever the case may be. But to just brush it off, okay. A lot of times, if you've got a lot of people coming after you for something, there's something of note there. Generally speaking, especially if you want to talk about smaller crap like this, like people like Kevin Samuels, right? It doesn't matter. They can say something that is 100% truthful and honest, and all the great things. Okay, they could say something like that, and they're gonna have like thousands of detractors who get mad at him, right? But if you're some small account and say something, oh, people are gonna call it. People are gonna call you out real damn quick. Okay, so I'd be very interested to see what the lady said before we start defending the damsel in distress.
dumb as hell to shame them for doing so. If you think women enjoying sex and having multiple partners is wrong, I got news for you. You're a misogynist, because I can guarantee you don't take that same energy with men.
Okay, first of all, the ladies who want to go out here and have all their fun and do all these wild things, hey, guys, go enjoy yourselves, right? Woo, womanism. You're allowed to do whatever you want. That's fantastic. But just understand that there are consequences to it. Okay, and here's the thing. I love how he rounds off the video by saying that, you wouldn't have that same attitude about men. You're damn straight we wouldn't have the same attitude about men, because it's entirely different. If you think that getting a partner is the same experience for a man and a woman, My goodness, you must be living in some alternative universe. But let's continue with one last TikTok before we wrap up today's video, gentlemen.
Yo, I'm struggling. So, big surprise, I'm talking to this new guy, and
Yeah.
he was straight up honest with me. He said, I've been going on these really great dates, but there's just been this one big deal breaker every time. Like, it's been a problem. And I'm like, okay, I'll bite. What is it? Like, why don't we just get this out of the way? Like, might as well figure it out so we don't catch feels and then be like, oh, damn, this sucks. And
Yeah, because that's been a recurring problem that, you've been great at solving. Like, it's so funny to me, man, when these ladies want to get into what they'll do is they'll like be seeing a guy and they'll be like, oh yeah, I want us to just start off on the right foot. I want to do everything correctly and just make sure everything's okay and we're all at our right space mentally, and I just want to vet you as a partner. And you look at their relationship history and it's the complete opposite of healthiness and boundaries and vetting people correctly and all this kind of stuff. It's like, it's just the complete opposite.
And he tells me, he says, I'm too big. And I was like, what do you mean you're too big? He said, usually girls see me, my dick, and say, F that. And I'm sitting here like, how do I not sound like a telling him that won't be a problem? Like, get me in!
Goodness gracious me. And gentlemen, I think we're going to leave today's video there. As always, leave your thoughts and comments below. If you have anything to share, gentlemen, feel free to do so. If you disagree with anything I've said, guys, feel free to do so as well. That is what the comments are for. I'm sure I've made many mistakes in the commentary of this video, so guys, feel free to provide your thoughts. It's always interesting to see what you have to say, but we're going to call today's video there. Just a one last announcement as well, gentlemen. Do not forget about the art competition. If you are interested in entering, there are cash prizes and stuff like that, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys have to submit. As well, if your artwork is used on the show, gentlemen, you will be credited where it appears and all of that good stuff. And $350 US for the first place, 175 for the second, and third is 100 US. So guys, if you're interested in entering, make sure you read the details linked in the description before submitting. But we're going to call it there, guys. As always, make sure you take care of yourselves, and I will see you boys in the next one. Peace.